Wait, horrifying. Help me. They're going to grape me. What the hell? 15-year-old British girl screams for help as two Muslim men drag her away. What?
I want to talk to you about the details of this horrific rape in Leamington, because some of the details here are absolutely appalling, and I'm sharing them with you for full transparency about what happened in that case, but I also give a warning before I do about some of them. Two Afghan asylum seekers dragged a 15-year-old girl into a secluded area of woodland and raped her. The girl cried out for help. Indeed, she managed to record her begging of a passing woman. At one point, a woman is heard asking the 15-year-old, "Are you all right?" The girl replies, "No, help me, please help me. So many people have walked past me. I want to go home. Please, please, help me, they are going to rape me." The girl, who can't be named because she is entitled to anonymity, the court was told eventually managed to get away and recorded several selfie-type videos demonstrating what they say was extreme distress, crying and hyperventilating. In a video after the ordeal, she could be heard sobbing, "Oh my God, I've just got effing kidnapped. I thought I was going to be dead. Every single one of these people are driving past me. Help me, someone."
I mean, you want that good food, right? What do you think the price was going to be, you know? On the bright side, you got a little bit more spices. A little bit more spice options, you know?
"Please, please help me. Why is no one helping me? Please, someone." Her mother said in a victim impact statement, "We have watched our vibrant, happy and confident daughter shrink down and suffer from anxiety so bad that she is often physically sick. This has affected every aspect of her life. Something broke in all of us that day." The two Afghans who were living in a hotel, having just arrived by boat, have been sentenced to 10 and 9 years in prison. The Telegraph reports that Jan Jadzeb turns 18 in less than a month and will be automatically deported after serving his sentence. But the court heard that his date of birth was unknown, so an age assessment has been carried out by specialists. So I wonder then how we know that he turns 18 in a month if we don't actually know this individual's date of birth. And therein lies a very, very big part of a very, very big problem. We have no idea who these people are. We barely know where they come from.
Thank you, Lost Bulgari. Thank you.
And the rage that I feel about
Thank you for the
this
sub. Thank you.
story, and the rage that you feel about this story, this kind of actually I find genuinely barely containable rage, leads to perhaps a desire to bring in a few of the more kind of Trumpian ends of the ideas about what should happen next. And I would quite candid with you, quite a few of those ideas have flickered through my mind in the last 24 hours. But I am trying extremely hard not to let the jerk in knee-jerk win. However, as the people of Crowborough, where 600 men are about to be deposited in an old army camp, as they set up a patrol group of local residents around the old barracks there, surely that has to be an absolute minimum now for any place housing large numbers of asylum-seeking men. We cannot have groups of random, bored, culturally incompatible men wandering around towns and villages of places unfortunate enough to be burdened with this. At a minimum,
this is all tyranny to the actual, like, if you want to say that you care about women, this is tyranny to all of the innocent citizen women that live in the place. Like, not even being able to go out for fear of stuff like this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Like, society does not have to be this way.
The rule has to be, you cannot leave.
Why not? Am I racist? I'm trying to think about why you would say that. Because, so hold on. If I'm against there being roving men that rape women because it's common in their culture, then that makes me racist. But see, if I were presented with a person that was of the same ethnicity, but they were not like that, as in like they were culturally like Western, like say their family lived in the UK, or let's just use America because I'm from America. Let's say that there was a family from, I don't know, whatever country you want to use. Let's just say Somalia. You want to have like a person that's from Somalia, but you know they came here like, I don't know, just for the sake of argument, hundreds of years ago, 100 years ago, and you know their family has been integrated into the culture fully. You know they eat burgers just like we do, and you know they don't participate in that sort of behavior, scamming and all that stuff. Would I not like them? No. I would like them. I would be okay with them. If they were a good person and they were like, you know, had similar interests to me, I could totally be their friend. Has nothing to do with their race. So you're just wrong. I'm not racist actually. Because it wouldn't matter to me what race they are actually in that case. It's only because they're from a culture that's incompatible to our culture that I have a problem with it. So it's not specific to their race, it's specific to the culture from which they come. That's it.
Facility you're being fed and water.
So like, am I a cultural supremacist? Yeah. American culture is just better. Sorry.
In until we know who you are, or until your claim has been processed. Otherwise, the status quo carries on, and I just don't see how anyone can conclude that that is the best way forward, that we just let the same things we've always done keep happening, with results being like this. So, what is the response? I'll give you one. This is the former Prime Minister, Liz Truss. Now, you say what you like about Liz Truss, but she was Prime Minister for a bit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of cultures. I'm not a fan of cultures that are all about getting away with scamming as much as you can, and ones that are about like raping people. That and by the way, like, you don't have to take my word for it. If you think what I'm saying is bullshit, go look into it yourself. A lot of these places, they just rape people from other families, other clans. They just rape people just because they can. So it's, if you think that that cultural aspect does not transfer when somebody moves, like for instance, right? Like if I were to tell you to move to Japan tomorrow, do you think that you would be 100% Japanese? Do you think that you would 100% already, like off the boat, boom, we dropped you off the plane? Do you think you would instantly be Japanese in culture? You wouldn't, obviously. It would be based on whatever culture you grew up in, because it's a part of your mimetic DNA, right? Your your mimetic DNA. It's a part of that. So obviously, it's not really easy for people to, and I'm not saying that like you can't change cultures. You can, but that involves a very specific nature that appreciates the other culture in the first place and is willing to assimilate, right? As in, like, you move there and you slowly over time, over the next, you know, as fast as you can, you try to become a member of that culture. Now that those people, there's not that many of them, to be honest. Like that nature is not common. All right. So that's in the first place, right? Anyway, so the point that I'm saying is, like, it's very obvious that if you take people from these cultures that they have a completely different mimetic DNA than you, and you have them placed into, you know, your own country, that they're not going to immediately understand. And here's the thing. You might say, well, you know, they'll get it in like 5 years. Why would I put up with that? Why would I put up with their fucking, their shenanigans for 5 years? Why would I subject innocent people to that? You're like, well, you know, it might take a couple rapes, but you know, they'll get it. And why the fuck would I put up with that? What the hell is that? Why would I do that? I'm not retarded, you know what I mean? But anyway, it's really like, if you really think about it, right? And like, I actually went through the thought process, right? I know you already said, you already said like you didn't, you know, forget it already. I know, I'm not ragging on you anymore. But if you sit down and you think about the thought process, you can understand how it's not actually racist. It's very obviously a cultural oriented thing and not a racial oriented thing. And I've already explained this like multiple times, like through with different races, right? Just because you have a pattern recognition for a thing, doesn't mean that you hate people. You hate all people of that race. It's obviously not the case. And all you would have to do is simulate out the context of the situation, and you'll understand that each bit of context adds to the whole picture. All you want is remigration. What is that? What do you mean by that? Remigration. You know, that's an interesting one. Remigration is a term used by far right nationalists, whatever, all the usual movements in Europe and North America to advocate for large scale state orchestrated removal of non white immigrants, refugees, and sometimes even naturalized or native born citizens with migrant backgrounds. I gotta think about it. Large scale, so sometimes, so it doesn't always include naturalized or native born citizens. So it would depend, for me it would depend how far you go with that. So like I think it's very very clear that the birthright citizenship is being as an abuse system. It's very obvious that it is a not a good idea because of how it's being abused. People abuse the system. Again, I always tell you, like, as a game developer, I always think about how people can abuse systems. It's something I'm very interested in, and obviously, people will abuse the system when they can. So you have to build the system to be anti that, and it's very obvious that it's been used in the past. You have people who have anchor babies, as in like they come here, they visit the United States like not as a migrant but as a visitor to have a kid here, which gives the kid a citizenship here, and then they then use that as an anchor to import more people from their family through like petitioning systems. And it's very obvious that this is a loophole that is being used. So I think in the cases of that, like when you have a person that specifically comes here to give birth, I don't think I'd have a problem with them losing their citizenship and being deported. Like it's very obvious that they're bad actors that are abusing our laws, our laws in America that was made for us Americans. I'm not a big fan of setting up of saying, well, that's the rules, and then just kind of you know letting ourselves be subject to bad actors. So I think that rule should be removed because it's very obviously abusable. Everybody knows it. This isn't like a this isn't me just saying it, right? This is a very obvious abuse of the rule that happens to the point that they have tourism. They have foreign tourism specifically set up for this, where you can go and stay at someone's house until you give birth, specifically for this purpose. They do this on purpose. So I would be against that. I mean, this, I guess the problem here is it says specifically non-white. I disagree with this. I think we should do the same thing to white people. The same thing to white people that meet the criteria. I don't think it should be race based. It should be based on culture, I think. So it doesn't really matter, right? And to be honest, I would extend this to even I would extend this to even Europe at this point, because I think even the United States and Europe aren't even really culturally aligned anymore. I think it's very obvious just in like how, if you look at how Europe is and like the policies that they enact, the types of policies that they enact, and really like a lot of their lack of cooperation and like sometimes even just outright hostility to the United States. It's very very obvious that it's not even the same, like in terms of there's been like a split in like the mimetic culture. So like I don't even think I'd agree with that in terms of it being race based, right? Like I would want to deport them as well. So but I do agree with the large scale like removal of refugees. And if you're a refugee here and then we fix your problem is done back home, I mean there's no reason to have you here. And also a lot of these people, by the way, their refugee claim is not even valid because they're coming from across the world. That's not how refugee systems work. You can really only be a refugee here if you're from Mexico, Canada, and maybe Cuba. That's really it. I don't really see any other like refugees as being valid, to be honest. So I mean that's how I feel about it. And I think that that people should, if they're going to be refugees, they should be refugees to a nearby country, that because they're more culturally aligned, right? Like, we're on the other side of the world. It doesn't make sense to have people from, you know, the Middle East and other countries that have nothing to do with us culturally. It doesn't even make any sense at all. But anyway, that's how I feel about it. The whole thing. I do think that we should have some sort of system like this, but I don't think it should be based on race. That's it. Because again, the reason I said is I don't think that Europe is even culturally aligned with us anymore. Yep. That's my take on it. I hope that answered your question.
She's just said these horrific crimes are happening daily in Britain. The whole system, including the mainstream media, is suppressing the truth. She says the Human Rights Act needs to be repealed. All migration from Afghanistan should be stopped. That's too knee-jerk? Is that too knee-jerk?
Wait, what?
All migration from Afghanistan should be stopped.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
That's too knee-jerk. Is that too knee-jerk? You can't and shouldn't judge the whole by the part.
Again, there's a cultural issue here. And at the very minimum, okay, like this is the bare minimum of what I'm asking for. I don't even need that. I don't even need like a total ban, but I need like, we need to like hardcore check these people. Like, do they have the money to like be contributing members to society when they get here? One. Two, are they culturally aligned? Because if their idea of, you know, again, like if they're playing like these Middle Eastern clan wars, PvP mode, I don't want them here, to be honest. So again, the criteria would be very, 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 very small in the first place. So which is why I can see for a total ban. I mean, it makes sense because it's just easy rather than having to deal with having to investigate these people, make sure that they're culturally aligned and stuff like that. But I think that the cultural alignment should be the very minimum, the bare minimum of what we do.
So we can't judge every person from Afghanistan on the basis of actions of, in this case, 2 people. So that's too far for me. But I'm, again, candidly, that thought's crossed my mind too. And I can't, I think the reason why I say I'm not sure that's...
Here's another thing that I do have to bring up, because I see people struggling with this a lot, where people are like, oh, but you know, but good people, and you know, here's the thing. And this has to be said. I don't think enough people are saying this. You don't deserve to live in America. That's just the truth. You don't deserve to be here. Just because you want to be in America doesn't mean that we have to put up with it. We don't have to. If we let you into America, it's because we decide so. It's because we decided it's in our best interest of our citizens. We decide that we're going to be gracious and let you live here. This is not a right. This is a privilege that the American citizens give you because we want it, and we can revoke it whenever we want. The idea that everyone in the world deserves to come to America is fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like you don't deserve it. We don't owe you shit. Americans do not owe you shit. Everyone from all over the world, I'm speaking to everyone from all over the world. Americans don't owe you shit. And you know what? You guys don't owe us shit either. You don't owe us shit. If you're from Poland and you know someone from America wants to like go live in Poland, it's up to you. If it's up to you, you want to do that through your own graciousness, you want to do that, that's up to you. But Americans have no right to live in Poland. There's no moral imperative for Polish people to allow Americans to live there. Zero moral imperative. And we also don't have the same thing. We don't owe anyone in the world shit.
Going to work is it does...
I'm just using Poland as an example. I wasn't targeting Poland specifically.
Judge the whole by the part, and that sort of isn't fair.
And like the thing is I feel like my take on this is very, very, very modern and basic. Like honestly, I don't think that I don't think this is even a crazy take. People will see this and say it's a crazy take. I just don't see how it's crazy. It just seems like it's so obvious. Why would America owe the rest of the world this? Why would we? If you're like, I want to live in America, I'm like, well, you know, I don't want you to. Too bad. This is my house. This is my house. Maybe if you can prove that you're a benefit, then maybe, right? But why should we let you in just cause? There's no reason. If we want to say no, then we want to say no. If we want to say yes, you know, say like there's a group of people, let's use I don't know. It doesn't really matter what country. Say South Africa, for instance, and there were certain people from South Africa that would have been a benefit to society, like Elon or something like that, right? Sure, we can take them if it benefits us. Then sure, but we don't owe you it. We do not owe it to you. You're here off of our own grace, and we allow you to be a citizen of our own grace. It's not a privilege. It's not a right. It's not a right. It's us giving you a privilege.
But at a bare minimum, the idea that you would have hundreds of people, and even in the cases where we sort of have a better idea about who they are because they've been through the criminal system, still don't know how old this bloke is, still don't really know how old he is. The idea that you would allow then hundreds and hundreds of people to be housed in areas and they're allowed to wander around and we have no idea who they are. No, cannot happen. Cannot be allowed to happen anymore. If this
Arnold,
case...
It's like Arnold said on The View, you're a guest, behave yourself and you can leave. Yeah, so like my take on it is if you come here illegally, it should be automatic default permaban. Like permaban, like you can't come here as a tourist, you can't come here for shit, like you're just permanently banned forever. If you come here illegally even one time, like no mercy, you come here illegally one time, you're just gone, like gone forever.
Provokes one response. It has to be that somebody, ideally the police, or I don't know, but somebody has to say, I'm afraid, sir, you cannot leave the hotel that you're being housed in until your claim has been processed. Because we don't know who you are.
Yep. I don't know. This whole thing seems so easy to me. I don't understand. And you know what it might be is that when I think about America, right? And I think about like it is like being our home. I think about things in terms of like gratitude, in terms of I just feel like their attitude is very calming. It's a very calming attitude. It's I deserve, like America has all these great things. I deserve it. I deserve it too. Like me, I deserve it. And you don't. You just don't. Like you don't deserve it. Like if we give you even a piece of it, you should be grateful. You should be 100% grateful. And that's not the mentality people have. People only have a mentality of taking. They don't have a mentality of giving. And that's the problem, is we cannot have people here that don't have a mentality, that their entire mentality is what can I take from America? Not a fan of that. You get the fuck out, basically. Very basic. Very basic. I don't see how this is confusing at all.